Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I am going to show you how I make my roasted tomato and red pepper pizza sauce. It is a freezer friendly recipe. It is super easy and it is super delicious. We are on the last leg of our gardening season. It is really starting to wind down. I gotta say my tomatoes were actually quite slow this year. It's been a very wet season, so I think that has just kind of stunted and slowed their growth. But I finally have my first big batch of tomatoes from the garden that are nice and ripe and ready to go. And I am gonna make them into pizza sauce. Pizza sauce is very important to me. We eat pizza regularly and I make it from scratch 99% of the time. So I'm going to show you how I make a garden styled pizza sauce that requires zero canning. You can stick this right into your freezer. I will give the exact measurements in the written recipe that I will link below, but for this recipe you need your tomatoes, some bell peppers, a jalapeno, onions and garlic, and then a couple of zucchini. The first part of this recipe is roasting. Go ahead and roughly chop all your veggies and spread them evenly out on your cookie sheets or roasting pans. You can also broil the vegetables or even grill them if you want. Either way, you want them cooked and develop some deep flavor. So I'm going to put my oven on to 400, and after I have spread them out on my cookie sheets, all the vegetables, by the way, the tomatoes, the onion, the garlic, the zucchini, and even all the peppers, we are going to roast these for an hour or more, keeping a careful eye on them to make sure that they don't burn. Now this recipe does give you plenty of elbow room to be creative. Since this is a freezer recipe, you really can just try different things in there. Like you can probably stick some eggplant in there, experiment with different peppers and tomatoes, different herbs, etc. Since none of that is going to affect how it freezes, it's all going to freeze beautifully. So go ahead and experiment. Before you stick them in the oven, be sure to sprinkle them with salt. This helps with extracting some of the juices out and to flavor them. You can use olive oil to roast them in the oven if you wish. I did not. The tomatoes had enough juice to get everything wet and good to go for the oven. So you are going to roast these at 400 for at least an hour, if not more. Please keep a careful eye on them so they don't burn though. Charred is one thing, but burnt is not. This is what mine looks like afterwards. After this, you're going to just let them cool down so they're a little bit easier to handle. You can put it in a blender like I did, or you can just stick it straight into your pot and use an immersion blender. Either way, you do want to blend this up one way or another. If you use a blender, you are going to have to put it into a pot because now we're going to season it to our liking. So I ended up using Italian seasoning, some cayenne pepper. I added some sugar just to cut the acidity a bit, and then I added some salt to taste. Since this is gonna be going to the freezer soon, you don't need to bring this up to a boil. Just get it hot enough to where all your sugar, salt, and herbs all dissolve and blend well together. For freezing in jars, you must use wide mouth jars. You will even see a line that says for freezing, fill here. That is where you're gonna fill your jar up to. It's just under the 1 inch mark. This is so nothing shatters in your freezer. It gives the sauce enough room to expand safely in the jar without causing any issues. Now you can freeze this in whatever container that you want. If you have some plastic containers you want to use, or even if you want to make little baggies, you can even make little ice cubes if you want. Just choose something that will fit your freezer easily. And remember that you still need to thaw this out. So however you want this to thaw out in before using it on pizza, just think of that. I think jars are just the most convenient way to freeze something like this. And this recipe is done. Go ahead and label and date your jars. It can sit in your freezer for up to 6 months. So long as it doesn't get thawed and refrozen, it's usually okay. I hope this video helps. I will leave the link down below for the written recipe, and I will see you guys in the next one.